Why I love the Toronto Maple Leafs? Well, there's many reasons. I was 6 years old when they won their last Stanley Cup in 1967, and I was too young to really understand what it meant. But as I grew up, I met a lot of the players who were on the team and got autographs, and that was always, it became my team. The team, and I played a lot of hockey, but it was my local team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And as I grew older, I went to several games, but the very first game I went was with my father, and we sat up in what was called the nosebleeds. You know, the Grays and the old Maple Leaf Gardens way up top, and my dad, well, he bought me a hockey stick, and I still have it. And it was a really cheap wood stick, but it had Pete Stemkowski's picture stapled on the blade. Far from the mass-produced souvenirs you buy today. And just remembering going with my father there to the first time was something I'll never forget. And as we get older, it sort of became a love-hate relationship because, oh man, these guys are terrible. But there was glimmers of hope. The Harold Ballard days. One of my favorite players was always Wendell the farm boy from, I think it was Calvington, Saskatchewan. You know, and funny enough, his son ended up going to school with my son. But watching them grow and the years where they had Gilmore and they were really making an impact, we were watching the game between Toronto and Los Angeles. The last time they were in the semifinals going for the Stanley Cup. If they won, it would have been a Toronto-Montreal Stanley Cup final. We were at the cottage. We had 2 black and white TVs and 2 shotguns. And we said, if they lost, we were going to blow these TVs with shotguns. And the most incredible thing happened in that game. Wayne Gretzky, who was on LA, high-sticked Dougie Gilmore. And was it questionable? Were you going to throw the #1 player in the world out? And they didn't. Toronto went on to lose, and the TVs both got blown away to the great recycling scrap pile in the sky. And as I followed the Leafs, there had been moments of glimmer and moments of heartbreak and moments of bandwagon jumping on and off, and well, who really gives a shit anymore? This is not going anywhere. But then there was a change, and there was a rebuilding. And I do remember Brendan Shanahan, GM, I remember refereeing his brother in a men's league. And I never forgot him because he was the only guy I'd ever refereed in my life who wore a football helmet playing hockey. Burned him, left a dent in my brain with that guy. Anyways, as the team's going, they've now rebuilding, and they've got these young kids. And what is so truly exciting about this is these young kids don't know any better. Hey, they're at the big show, they're at the dance, they're having fun. They don't even realize the excitement they're creating with 3rd, 4th generation fans out there. The fact that Toronto made the playoffs this year is as good as saying we won the Stanley Cup because we've been seriously starved as Maple Leaf fans. What does the future look like? Well, I talked about it earlier with my good friend Gare with no hair, and he said it's like, I think it was the 1981 Edmonton Oilers, raw talent and power and youth, and I agree with Gare. This team's going to be a real force to reckon with in the future. I'm Bruce Buchan, #1 Maple Leaf fan, always planning the parade, encouraging you to never waste a moment.